Hello, good evening. I was a bit late today. Not bit, 2 hours. I understand. Thank you very much for staying with us till now. Prabhu Shri Raam is also called as SHAANTAVEERA. Is it so? Yes. The scriptures say yes. This title has been given to Prabhu Shri Raam for a particular reason. The reason is he was Shanta, that means peaceful on one side, and that is a fierceful fighter on the other hand. He was both. There was a balance between these two qualities within his personality, and he is called as he's also called as the ultimate ideal, Adarsha, not only for human beings but also for a society, a society which is completely shanta can be extinguished within no time. A society which is ex- extensively fearful can die within no time because of its constant instinct to fight. On any given road, if we meet another person and we trouble that person, if he's a small little boy, what does he do? And if he's a strong person, what he would do? If he's a strong person, he would hit back instantly. If he's a small boy, if he's a weak person, he would run, get to his people, and get them to that place and get us hit. So once again, on the other hand, we would have same trouble. So fighting is actually not a solution. Winning over, winning over the person could be the right solution. So on these grounds, only being only being a fierceful fighter doesn't help. On the other hand, being shanta also doesn't help. So there was one snake which was actually troubling people, and nobody were ready to go in that particular route because of this fierceful snake. And it so happened that there was one saint was going on that route, and all of a sudden the people there around him stopped him. Please don't go, there's a very fearful snake and it will bite you. And this saint doesn't listen to anybody, and he goes there and finds that snake comes to scare him or hit him or bite him, whatever. At that point of time, this saint talks to the snake and consoles him and tells, see, you are troubling people, and it is not advisable to trouble people. All those things he tells. Okay. And he gives some lessons to that snake that he should not be so fearful. Listening to the lessons of this saint, the snake changes its nature. It stops hurting people, it stops troubling people, and it is living a saintly life. And all of a sudden, some particular point of time, these boys happen to go there, the village boys happen to go there, or they happen to see the snake, which is very saintly. And immediately they realize that this snake is not hurting them, and they start playing with that snake. Slowly, that playfulness becomes mischief, and they start troubling the snake. Once they get to know that snake is not troubling them, then finally it so happens that one of the boys takes the snake by its tail and throws it on the stone, on a rock, and it's in a very very bad situation now. After a few days, the saint who was walking there, the saint who was walking there, he gets to know that this snake is suffering. He visits the snake and asks, why is that snake is suffering? The snake tells, as you said, I did everything to be good. I stopped troubling people. I stopped troubling these boys. And finally, one day, it so happened that they realized that I would not be troubling them. And this is what has happened. They troubled me so much, they hit me so much that today I am with so many broken bones, and my situation is very bad. And probably any moment I may die. Then the saint says, see, I told you not to trouble the boys, correct, but I never told you not to scare the boys, not to scare the boys. That basic fear about you must be there with your surrounding people. It's not the fear. If not the fear, at least the respect should be there. However possible, people should not trouble you. So you should not have bit them, I understand, but that basic hissing sound which creates that fear should be always with you. So this is the lesson given by the saint to that snake, and this is applicable for each and everybody. Each and everybody. It is said that a person who cannot become angry, however strong he is a weakling. A person who cannot become angry, however strong is a weakling. Instead, he is a wise person who will not become angry. He is a wise person who will not become angry. So, cannot becoming angry can become a lacune within a personality. So, one has to strike a balance between being peaceful and being fearful. So that was the message which we can learn from the life of Sri Rama. Prabhu Shri Ram, who lived like a common man, who lived like a common man on this earth, has displayed this feature very effectively. At no point of time in the whole of Ramayana we can come across that he becoming angry, except for one situation. No point of time, at any point of time, how much ever difficulty he is supposed to face, he has faced. How much ever difficulty he was supposed to face, he has faced without groaning, without showing the frustration. He has faced it. He has lived a life without showing any kind of that groaning. And after all that, when he loses his wife, he cries while he is searching his wife and traveling across the country, walking across the country with his brother. He cries like an ordinary man. In in our language, that is Kannada, the song which is reverberated at that point of time is Vaidehi Yenadalo. Yeah, and he asks the trees there, the leaves there, the rocks there, the animals there, Vaidehi Yenadalo. Vaidehi is his wife, that is Sita. Vaidehi Yenadalo, and he asks every little thing which is which are surrounding him, animate, inanimate, whatever, living things, non-living things, he keeps on asking, and he's crying literally, literally. And finally, it so happens that when he is uh, working on the bridge, working on the bridge that is on the ocean, when he's working on it, it so happens that the stones which are used, They're not able to place it in the right way, in the right way. And of course, they write Sri Rama, all those things. That's one part of it. Before that, it so happens that he realizes that the sea, the water, the god, water god is not responding to him. And then at that point of time, he just becomes angry. He becomes angry to that level that at once, at once, the sea god shivers, and he comes up and says and apologizes for it. And after all that, they continue to build the bridge. They become successful in building the bridge. That's the only instance in the whole of Ramayana, they show that Rama became angry. It's probably to make us know that Rama is a person who did not become angry and not a person who could not become angry. Yeah. And this kind of a mental state, because of this mental state, he could achieve anything and everything in his life, is what the lesson which we need to take away today. Once again, I repeat, this mental state of not being affected by external situations is what is today's takeaway. And today, in modern world, this is one of the most important lessons which we people should understand. Which we people should understand. Everywhere we have a lot of difficulties. These difficulties might not be because of the actualness, but because of the expectations which we are carrying in mind. Expectations which we are carrying in mind. A person who has got two cars would be wanting the third beautiful car, a third more luxurious car. But a person who is walking or who is on a cycle would be comfortable, continue walking or continue cycling. Correct? So that way, in today's world, this is something which is very, very important as a lesson for us. And there are a lot of situations, especially when we meet our targets, when we have to accomplish the job which has been given to us, which is always on the higher side, exceeding side. If you have 8 hours of work per day, the minimum amount of work which we have to churn out would need 10 to 12 hours. So in all this context, the pressure would build up, and to tackle this pressure of time and work, tasks and targets, whatever it is, this mindset would help us. This mindset would help us. That is being calm, being calm, and that doesn't mean that you are not able to become angry. We should have all the strength. We should have all the strength in mind, but we need to remain calm. When we look at these movies, especially I would like to refer to one particular movie, that is Elaya Arium, Seventh Sense, where our Bodhidharman goes to China. Bodhidharman goes to China, and he is not received well by the villagers. And they say that there is some omen would be happening to that village, and they thought that this was the person who has come to create that bad situation, and they shoo him off, and he goes away. And then later on comes back when the village is in trouble. Of course, I'm not talking about the pandemic, that health issues that village went through, but there were some attackers who came in, and they were actually hanging the village leaders there, three people. And he comes, and with that boomerang kind of a weapon, he goes, cuts the thread there, it comes back, he holds it. And at that point of time, he's looking at them, and with a firm, calm mind, he's looking at them. His vision is unwavering. Yeah, he's looking at it, and they hurl a stick, a spear kind of a thing, and as it is coming, he can see it. He can see that fast moving object clearly. As it comes nearby, very close to him, he hits it. How is it possible? It's because of that mental state. That mental state. So if we have that mental state of mind, if we have that mental state, then automatically we will also be able to handle many issues of this modern world. Many issues of this modern world, many problems of this modern world. Okay, this mind, which is actually nothing but a series of thoughts. The food for this mind being thoughts, we need to slowly handle it, gently handle it, and we have to tame it. We can't control it. We cannot overpower the mind. We can't overpower the mind. We need to tame it. How? These are the ways. Being conscious, and at any point of time, not getting into that anxiety, not getting into that anxiety. And if you're able to manage this for a long time, then automatically we would reach the state of Prabhu Shri Ram being Shantavira. If you want to become like Prabhu Shri Ram, we need to follow this. We need to follow this. Yes, of course, Prabhu Shri Ram's life is only an illustration of what Patanjali says in his Patanjali Yoga Sutras. He says Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. These are the Ashtanga Yogas, Ashtanga Yogas. Ashta is 8, Anga is parts. So this yoga is of 8 different steps. Yama, Niyama. Yama is internal oaths which we take. Niyama is the external, this one we practice. And Yama, Niyama, Asana. Asana is that Yogasana what we do, that Hatha Yoga what we do, all the asanas. So many asanas we do know. So these are the asanas. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. Pranayama is regularizing the breath. Regularizing the breath. Pranayama, Dharana. Dharana is what we actually do in the name of dhyana is dharana. What we actually do in the name of dhyana is dharana. Dhyana is what we do is we close our eyes and start thinking on, contemplating on one particular item, one particular thing. Maybe it is a god or a flame or things like that, right? So that one thing, being with one thing is dharana, and giving up that one thing is dhyana. So that's the reason we say dhyana should happen. We can't do dhyana. We can't do dhyana. Dhyana should happen by itself. Okay, it's like love. Pyar ho jata hai. Yeah, love. We don't go and love somebody. We love automatically happens by itself. So that way. So meditation should happen by itself. So the training for that is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana. Okay, so these are the different steps which will take us close to dhyana. And Prabhu Ram's life is an illustration of all these things what we are talking about. One small little thing which doesn't go well with our life, we feel it's over. Correct? We feel it's over. And we have seen students, we have seen youngsters committing suicide. Committing suicide is one of the heinous crimes which anybody can do. Which anybody can do. Yeah. And we had recently a few incidents in Bangalore as well. And that was something which we people should feel bad about. We feel ashamed of. We feel ashamed of. And one strong sadhana which Prabhu Shri Ram did in his younger days would be enough to strengthen oneself. What is that he did? Probably these are the things. In Gurukula, they would not have taught about astronomical engineering. Yeah, they would not have taught about physics, chemistry, biology. They would have taught about Patanjali Yoga Sutras. They have taught about those Patanjali Yoga Sutra means, of course, after compiling all those things, it became Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Otherwise, it would be Yoga Shastra. Yeah, yoga. So, like this, if everybody, each and everybody of today's world, of today's generation, if they spend some little time with with training their mind, taming their mind, then automatically this would mind would become their friend instead of being an enemy, instead of becoming a reason for weakening them. It would help them to develop the strength from within. Strength from within. What sadhana anybody can do? Okay. For example, what can be done? Can I have any options from the listeners? What can anybody do as a sadhana to train their mind, to strengthen their mind? Can anybody? Kanaklata Behera, Pramila Behera, Lalita Behera, of course, today's chairperson, Mr. Prabhakar Swami. Of course, Mr. Prabhakar Swami will be speaking to us very soon. He is the chair. Other people, anybody would want to make a comment, you can actually put it in the chat box. What all could be? What all could be the sadhana for ourselves that we can do to strengthen the mind? Yes, of course, you will be elaborating the same, probably Mr. Prabhakar Swami as a chairperson of this session. Anybody else would want to make make a suggestion? As Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, dharana is something which strengthens the mind, and next one is dhyana. In between this dharana and dhyana, there is one element called japa. There's one element called japa. What is this japa? Japa is repeating the name of something or somebody. It need not be God. Take my word, it need not be God. Okay? Repeating the name of something or somebody for a long time, and this particular act would strengthen the mind. Okay, we have one saint called Kanakadasa. He's not a rishi. He's not a rishi exactly. He's not a rishi, but he's a saint who sang all through his life. Kanakadasa. And this Kanakadasa goes to a spiritual guru and says, Guruji, please give me one mantra. Please give me one mantra. Then the guru asks, what caste you belong to? In those days, caste was very important aspect. No, today we don't bother. We don't bother who is of which caste. Correct? So he asked, which caste you belong to? He said, I'm a Kuruba. Kuruba is the caste with a profession of taking care of sheep, that is shepherd. I'm a shepherd. This is the caste. Then he says, Kurubaniಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಕೋಣನ ಮಂತ್ರ. ಕುರುಬನಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಕೋಣನ ಮಂತ್ರ. Kona is buffalo. Buffalo. So buffalo is something which people consider, the society consider that this is something which is of no use, kind of. Okay. So buffalo is one derogatory kind of this one which normally in the language we used in those days probably. Okay. And this Kurubaniಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಕೋಣನ mantra, he says, and immediately Kanakadasa thanks for having said that, and he goes away and then sits in a place and starts chanting the word called Kona. Kona is buffalo. So imagine he's only chanting buffalo, 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 and it's going on. It's going on. Yeah. In our history, if we get back, there is one person who sat under a particular tree for some time and got up and said, I'm realized, I'm enlightened. And that is, we all know it is Bhagavan Buddha. And nobody doubted Bhagavan Buddha that he got enlightened. Everybody accepted that Bhagavan Buddha, yes, he is enlightened. So that kind of a scene happens in the life of Kanakadasa also. There it was dhyana, and here it is japa. Dhyana, that dhyana is called as vipassana. 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 It's one of the best techniques. Even today, it is followed, it is practiced in its original form. Anybody who is interested, serious with respect to spirituality, can definitely attend that camp. It happens in 4 different places in India, I think, or even by now, probably it would be in more number of places. Okay, and it's a wonderful meditation technique. It goes for 10 days. Out of those 10 days, 9 days mauna. 9 days we don't talk. And the 10th day, we are asked to break that silence. Okay, it's a wonderful technique. Anybody who is interested in spirituality, please do it. Okay, and who can actually take a break for 10 days, please go ahead. Please go ahead. So this is about dhyana, whereas what Kanakadasa does is japa. In this particular point of time, in this particular, not the point of time, period of time, what he did was, what he did was, he lived with one particular word, that is kona. Kona, kona, kona. He keeps on repeating it. Mind is something which constantly works. Correct? Some work should be given to the mind. We can't stop the mind. So, what is that work we have given? The work is uttering the name Kona. He keeps on uttering the word Kona, 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 Kona. It goes. Thereby, he is not in love with something, nor he is hating anything. Vita Raga, Raga Dvesha. He doesn't have a dvesha over something. He doesn't have love over something. He's not loving anything. He's not hating anything. Yeah. In that neutral state, he is there, living at that moment for a long time. That strengthens the mind. That is japa. Japa. And he does it for a long time and he becomes enlightened. So, that condition, if we people plan to be in that condition for a long time on a daily basis, our mind becomes calm on one side and robust on the other side. Then the balance is right. And we also can become like Prabhu Shri Raam, SHAANTAVEERA. SHAANTAVEERA. This is a solution for many of our modern day problems, where any small little thing, any small little things, we get disturbed. It is not just about exams or marks or whatever. Even between young husband wife, when there is an argument, we feel that somebody, a husband tells something to the wife, and wife feels very bad about it. Husband tells only once, but remembers it 100 times and suffers every time she remembers. That is because mind is occupied with that particular word. Instead, she has to outgrow. Okay, something he said, same thing applies to other way. Something applies to the other way also. So something he has told, okay, let it be, and let me work on let me work on strengthening my mind. And he or she starts doing this japa. Automatically the mind gets strengthened. So these are the most important perennial sources of energy, perennial sources of strength. And we wish all of us get back to these sources of energy, that is japa or tapa. If not japa and tapa, there is one another thing which I would want to state here, and then get our chairperson of this session, Mr. Prabhakar Swami, on board. The last point which I want to stress is, after japa and tapa, the third point is patana. Patana is recitation. Recitation of something. It can be, the best proved method is recitation of a scripture. The best one available can be Bhagavad Gita, can be Vishnu Sahasranama, can be Lalita Sahasranama. It could be any of these things, or a simple Om Namah Shivaya. Any of these things for a long time would strengthen the mind, because we have nothing to hate nor to love. The mind would remain in that neutral state for quite a long time. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If we're able to do it on a daily basis for a period of 2 months, I'm sure, I bet on my honor, in a period of 2 months, our personality will change. Our personality will change. So, with this, I conclude my talk and request Sri Prabhakar Swami to kindly give away his words, his concluding remarks as a chairperson of that. And as this is YouTube live, it would be difficult for us to get connected through this one. So what we're working is we'll be working on WhatsApp video call, and sir would be addressing. Here, the the stage is over to Prabhakar Swami. Sri Prabhakar Swami.
I request you please start your Google Meet. The link I have sent you. You
Oh,
just you just start Google Meet. We will talk on Google Meet.
one second. Just a moment. It's taking a moment's time. Sir, I'm trying.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
this
Yeah. You go live.
live?
Okay. Audible you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Very good evening to one and all. I am Dr. Prabhakar Swami. I am here to conclude this session with my words on Prabhu Shri Ramachandra. We know also he is known as Rama. It's considered a peaceful person for several reasons that Sir have told us on in this live session, stemming from his portrayal in the Hindu epic Ramayana. Most of the people we have read the Ramayana. The one thing I would like to add to Sir's discussion that the commitment to Dharma, why we are calling Prabhu Ramachandra as the Shantivira, because of commitment to Dharma. Uh, Rama is depicted as the ideal king who always adhered to Dharma, the righteous path. This included principles like non-violence, truthfulness, compassion, and forgiveness. That's I has told in this session. Uh, the Ramachandra has provided resolving conflicts peacefully, even when facing aggregation. Some of the people were against to the Prabhu Ramachandra, but he has resolved everything with a peacefully. Another thing I would like to add about Prabhu Shri Ramachandra is forgiveness and compassion. Throughout the Ramayana, we know the Prabhu Ramachandra displays remarkable forgiveness and compassion. Sri Ramachandra pardons those who wrong him, like Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, and shows kindness to everyone. These were the enemies to him. Emphasis is peaceful nature and aversion to unnecessary conflict. He didn't have a conflict with the persons. as being the God in the nature, as being the avatara of Sri Vishnu Deva. He didn't make a wound or make any trouble to anybody's life. Third thing I would like to tell here, he was having a patience and self-control. We know that Prabhu Ramachandra is known for his immense patience and control over his emotions. He rarely resorts to anger or impulsive actions. That about the anger, only we can see in the Ramayana, he was only one time he was angry on the ocean. That's what he has told while building the Ramu Setu. That time he became angry. He was over anger to the ocean. Rashmi sir has already, Venkatesh sir has already told us. This further highlights the peaceful demand. Fourth thing I would like to add about Prabhu Shri Ramachandra is avoidance of unnecessary war. We have seen in the throughout the Ramayana story, while Prabhu Sri Ramachandra is skilled warrior, he always aims to avoid war unless absolutely necessary. He tries to negotiate and find peaceful solution even when facing powerful opportunities like Ravana. This commitment to peaceful resolution peace. However, it is important to note that the Ramayana also portrays that Prabhu Sri Ramachandra engaged in battles and wars. These instances are usually seen as upholding dharma against the evil or protecting his loved ones. Prabhu Sri Ramachandra's image as a peaceful person stems from his overall conduct where he prioritizes peace and avoids violence whenever possible. I am very much thankful to Sri Venkatesh sir for giving me an opportunity to be the sharing this session. And with these concluding remarks, I conclude my presidential address and thank to one and all those participants who have participated in this online webinar about the why we are calling Sri Ramachandra as the Shantivira. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. This was wonderful, wonderful talk. And to my heartfelt thanks to the chairperson, Dr. Prabhakar Swami, Assistant Professor, Mahatma Phule Mahavidyalaya, Kingaon District, Latur State, Maharashtra. Maharashtra. This uh, very valuable input as a concluding remarks for this session is welcomed wholeheartedly. Thank you so much for being with us. And why we are doing all these things, why people from different corners are coming together with so much of interest, with so much of commitment, is only because it is no more Prabhu Shri Ram is an avatar. Of course, avatar he is, but he's not only a god, but also an ideal for common man. We pray him, no doubt. Beyond that, it is time that we should know that we can follow him. We can follow him on his footsteps. Each one of us can become Prabhu Shri Ram if we follow what Prabhu Shri Ram has done in his life. The way he walked his life, if we walk, we can become Prabhu Shri Ram. Prabhu Shri Ram will become the resident of our hearts also, just like he was the resident of Hanuman's heart. Probably we will not be able to tear open and show, but we would be successful in becoming the host for Prabhu Shri Ram, and finally we ourselves becoming Prabhu Shri Ram. So with this few words, I extend thanks to the chairperson, Dr. Prabhakar Swami, on one hand, and all the other people who have been a part of this session today. Thank you so much. And with this, I end the live stream. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.